Hi everyone, I'm Chef David Evans, culinary specialist with Gordon Food Service. Welcome to our food show seminar. Today's food show seminar, the true cost of labour and overhead versus the benefits of value-added products. Today we're going to look at how to successfully incorporate some value-added products into your operation and understand the best use of your labour dollars and the time and managing your time. We all know there's been a gap in the labour pool in the restaurant industry for quite a while. This means staff shortages. For many different reasons, staff haven't returned after a COVID break. They've left the industry. They've potentially gone to a new career. This means there's going to be more time training new staff in the industry, bringing them into your operation. There'll be more time spent in recruitment efforts for these staff. Potentially, you'll be incurring higher wages for staff, higher waste due to training and materials used to bring staff up to speed and train them on ingredient. That's going to be a cost incurred, and higher waste if you have a poor training program. A lack of training, there will be a lack of execution and comp meals if you haven't trained your staff. So many expenses there can be incurred from this labour pool shortage. So how can value-added products help us? How do we successfully incorporate the use of value-added products into our operation for maximum return on our investment into those products? As operators, do we really know how much labour is truly costing us and affecting our bottom line? And are we ensuring that scheduling the staff in the most important tasks and parts of the day? Do we keep the staff on the line serving food rather than performing menial tasks? Are the staff preparing menu items that bring better contribution to margin and perceived value to your operation? Have you ever taken the time to do a time and motion study evaluating the tasks and the labour dollars spent performing those tasks? Time and motion, like what is time and motion? Stop watching the performance of given tasks and equating them to real dollar values. We use time and motion to ascertain the true labour, so we have an actual dollar amount, the cost of above and beyond the food, what it costs to produce that food of any given meal or dish. If we can free staff up from spending time and effort on tasks that don't equate to fiscal success, hopefully then we can have the staff do things that are creative and serve up inspired food. I'd really like to give you an example by looking at the egg. So here we go. We got the deviled egg as an appetizer. Something pretty simple, easy to execute, great perception of value, on trend, little bit of sort of, comfort food speciality. But if we go to this video and we start to do our time and motion study, we've got a bowl full of eggs. So here's our chef. He's starting to peel the eggs. But before you can peel the eggs, you got to cook the eggs. And to cook the eggs, head to the fridge, get the eggs. I like the trick of the chef running through the kitchen with the brown paper tray of eggs, and then one egg falls out of the tray and smashes. That's a loss. That's increased cost to the bottom line. And our chef here now, he's peeling away at his eggs after he's cooked them and he's cooled them and he's let them rest for a little minute. And he's starting to get right into it. So we're about 31 seconds in here, and looks to me like he's already got 3 eggs on the go. So away we go. Some of the eggs might peel easily, some a little more difficult to peel. And away he goes. Egg number 4 goes down, and he's into egg number 5. So my timer says right about now he's at coming up to 55 seconds. And he's given it a wash off, and boom. So this chef here has managed to peel 5 eggs in a minute. So at $18 an hour, that's 30 cents a minute. Oh, he's broken one. More waste, just like the dropped egg on the floor. So 5 eggs a minute, that's 6 cents an egg to peel. So you kind of get the drift of that. We're really using the stopwatch. We're really analyzing each individual task to find out a dollar value. You might say, well, 6 cents isn't a lot to peel an egg, but let's have a look at the math. We'll move along to the next slide, and cooked eggs versus raw eggs and the cost of producing that. So a case of cooked and peeled eggs, 144 eggs in that case. This is my cost currently at this time, but I encourage you guys to get out your pens and pen spreadsheets and work out your own costs. At $38 for a case of cooked and peeled eggs, it's 26 cents an egg. There's no labor because they're already cooked and peeled. Cost of a cooked peeled egg, 26 cents. Raw eggs are 180 eggs in a case at $42 currently. For me, that's 23 cents an egg. But when I've got my 1 hour of labor to cook and peel all those eggs, we knew that it was 6 cents just to peel it. Plus, we've got to cook it and clean up the mess and dispose of the peelings and clean up the station from doing it and everything else. It comes out to actually 38 cents for a raw egg to be peeled. So a cooked peeled egg is cheaper than a raw egg. So now I've got an hour extra of labor time to put to someone actually working on the line or someone creating a recipe that's going to bring better value. Let's move on to another example, another little time and motion study. How about the traying of bacon? Cooking bacon, the waste if someone burns the bacon. Cleaning up all the greasy trays, putting out parchment paper, the cost of parchment paper. So we've got the time and motion study video running, and here's our chef, and away he goes. He's traying out the bacon. So looks to me like he's got a pretty good clip going on there. It's already into about 28 seconds, half a minute, and he's got about 8 slices of bacon down. So at $18 an hour, 30 cents a minute, I think this chef's going to manage to get about 16 slices of bacon out in a minute. That's 2 cents per slice just to tray the bacon. So I know it's pennies, but I always got taught that if you count the pennies, the dollars are going to take care of themselves. So this is why we're doing these time and motion studies. And these are just 2 simple little examples like eggs and bacon. We could continue on with a whole bunch more. But let's move to the next slide and take a look at the math on that raw versus cooked bacon. Okay, so at the moment, my cost on 300 slices of cooked bacon is around about $118, $117.59. That's about 30 cents for a slice of cooked bacon. I've got no labor. I don't use any parchment paper. So coming out to around about 39 cents for a slice of bacon. Now, if I'm using raw bacon, got 244 slices of 18 to 22 count bacon. Current price here for me right now is $71.39. It's going to cost me 29 cents for my raw bacon. So that's 10 cents cheaper than a piece of cooked bacon, but I got to cook it. Going to use possibly 3/4 based on my little time and motion study. From back and forth to the oven, traying out the bacon, back and forth to the fridge, to the dish pit with the trays, the labor of in and out of the oven, all these things adding up around about 3/4 of an hour, about at $18 an hour, $13.50 for the labor to produce that. 10 pieces of parchment paper for the 10 trays of bacon at 17 cents, another $1.70. Got to take everything into consideration, what it really truly is costing you. Dishwasher's got to wash up all those greasy trays. My math gives me 41 cents for a cooked piece of raw bacon. Now that's 2 cents cheaper than 2 cents more expensive, than cooked bacon. However, I've got an 3/4 of an hour of time for 2 cents. Now, does that make sense? Because can I use for the 2 cents extra to buy a piece of cooked bacon? I can put 3/4 of an hour of a chef's time in my hand to be used on the line or producing something that's going to bring me more value. And for me, in this day and age, I need that time up my sleeve. I need that cook doing something better. So yeah, the true cost of labor and overhead versus the benefits of value-added products, just weighing it all up. So many moons ago, before I came to Gordon Foods, I'd worked at a golf club for quite a while, and I used to do time and motion studies, and I'd get out the stopwatch or use the phone because the phone's got a stopwatch on it, and time the cooks doing tasks. Now, sometimes that was a little intimidating. And the cooks are all got a bunch of tenderloins there, and we've got a big banquet coming up, and everybody's cleaning and portioning out tenderloins. And I'm standing there with my clipboard and pencil and my phone trying to, timing them and doing the math on what it's truly costing me to have my cooks butcher the meat. And at that time, I'd worked out that once I'd cranked over about 150 portions of meat, that it was better for me and cheaper for me to buy that meat portioned from our purveyors, which was Gordon Foods and Inner City Packers. So that was a real eye-opener to me, and we started looking at that. But then we had to look at other things that might present themselves, because if I'm buying portioned meat, portioned steaks, and I'm buying large volumes of portioned steaks, I've got to cut the meat out of the bags if they're individually packed, and then that eats up more time. So there's always lots and lots to look at. It's not as just simple as timing something, working out how it will transpose, but the handling of the value-added products at the back end, you still need to pay a little bit of attention to something like that. So some value-added products that are fully cooked have really made a big impact. Our partners at Certified Angus Beef have some fantastic fully cooked protein products. I've got a slide here with a couple of my favorites. We have a rolled porchetta. I can't take the time and the effort and all the ingredients to produce a rolled porchetta for the price that I can purchase it for. It's just a no-brainer, and it's out of the bag and into the oven. Boneless short ribs cooked and braised are a great example of a value-added product that can really save you some time and money. Fully cooked briskets for sandwiches, and even sous vide pork belly. If you talk to your Gordon Food Service sales associate, there are some amazing sous vide products out there that will really help you. You might think that they look expensive, but when you look into the time and the cost of the labor to produce for yourself, the products speak for themselves for how they can assist you in using your chef's time to execute meals. When we look at produce, mark-on produce, ready, set, serve, mark-on products are unbelievable. We spend a lot of time with our customers doing true cuttings by bringing in cases and heads of romaine and having them trimmed and washed and taking the time to stopwatch how long that takes compared to the price of buying it ready, set, serve. And at the moment, chopped iceberg for a 4-ounce portion is around about 40 cents. Whereas if I bought in iceberg heads, that'd be 46 cents for a 4-ounce portion if I washed and trimmed it and myself. Same on romaine. Romaine, we did a test the other day, giving a few chefs some education, and chopped and washed romaine was coming in at 69 cents for a 4-ounce portion, whereas if we had to do it for ourselves, it was up at $1.07. Canned beets. I know we're talking about canned beets, not bringing in fresh beet, local beets, and cooking them and producing them ourselves, but canned beets are at the moment cheaper than fresh beets, and the cost of producing salad dressing and the labor required it's far cheaper for some of the convenience value-added products in the salad dressing lineup to produce for yourself. Now that we're not chopping and washing lettuce, peeling eggs, or traying up bacon, how can we use our staff's time to create things that bring a better perception of value, plus potentially use some convenience items as well? I'm going to talk about just sort of one example, a pulled duck spring roll. So pulled spring roll wrapper, pulled duck, mark-on, ready, set, serve, washed and trimmed cilantro and heritage greens, and Gordon sweet chili sauce. 5 convenience value-added products that I can combine in a recipe. As far as I know, we don't do a pulled duck spring roll, but I can buy a spring roll wrapper and I can buy pulled duck, and I can have my staff now, instead of peeling eggs, which is pretty much a no-brainer, I buy eggs cheaper, peeled and cooked, I can have them rolling spring rolls. So that when on the customer's plate, the perception of value It's like, oh, wow, they've made a homemade spring roll, where the customer doesn't really know and or care whether or not you cooked or peeled your eggs in-house or not. So I've taken 5 convenience value-added products and then turned them into a recipe to put on my menu that's going to give me a higher perception of value and contribution to margin. True benefits of value-added products don't just decrease your labor cost. Value-added products, if used effectively, can also manage consistent quality, provide consistent portion control, very important, reduce your energy consumption. You're not cooking so much stuff. Reduce the waste that you from overcooking or broken eggs while they're being peeled. You can lower workplace injury if you've got people that aren't doing too many dangerous things with knives when they're very inexperienced staff. That's a plus to keep them safe. And also space in your refrigerator without having to bring in large cases of vegetables that aren't washed or trimmed, down to vegetables that are ready, set, serve. In conclusion, you want to analyze the tasks that are being performed and the true cost in labor of performing those tasks. Decide on where and how labor is best needed. Consult with your Gordon Food Service on alternative products to menial and heavy labor-intensive tasks. Backfill the gaps with products that free up time and labor so that labor can be best spent on bringing true value while helping to achieve consistent quality, portion control, and customer satisfaction. Thanks everybody for watching. Enjoy the rest of the Food Show. Bye now.